Can you guys fucking help him?
Help me! Help me! Help me, please! Hey y'all, so I wanted to talk about immigrants in business. Obviously it's a very sensitive subject right now, but I don't like to shy away from stuff, so I just wanted to talk about it and put my 2 cents in, really. I disagree with the violence on both sides, really. Obviously, you know, coming to these countries illegally is something that's not right. You know, I myself had to go through a lot of hoops to make sure that everything was squared away. And even then, I still have the fear, right, of being deported because I wasn't born in this country, you know. So I still have that fear of, even if everything is squared away, you know, they're still going to find, or they're still just going to accidentally, you know, send you back and stuff. And, you know, obviously I have my son here, and it would be a very difficult time. But, you know, I was reading my Bible, and I was reading it for a different reason. I wasn't, you know, thinking about the immigration stuff at all or anything like that. And I came across this verse that kind of relates, you know, and I was shocked at this Bible verse for different reasons again. But like as soon as I read it, I was like, whoa, like I guess I didn't think that God had that thought or whatever, but it's Matthew 6:27. And it says, can any of you by worrying add even an hour to your life? So it's crazy to me because, you know, if you don't know anything about me, I obsess over trying to make God proud and my parents proud. And obviously I'm not perfect, or I'm not saying that I do a great job at it or nothing like that. But it just blew me away. It was like, okay, so we can't even add an hour to our life. Like he just decides when we go, when we stay, when we leave, you know. So I'm assuming that he's pretty in charge of our path, you know. And especially if you try and communicate with the Lord and try and talk to him every day and pray every day. So whether I'm on this side of the border or that side of the border, I think that it's still in his hands, you know, for all of us who, you know, and I recommend for everyone to be praying at this time, especially if you're an immigrant, just to understand that we don't need life to be comfortable. We don't need to be praying for things to be easier. And that's just my personal opinion. And I know that some people may disagree with me, but, just the other day, I was trying to communicate with the Lord and talk about how I wanted my son's life to be harder, you know, because you get to a certain point as a father and as a working man that you realize that comfort only makes you weaker, you know. So I don't want comfort. I don't want comfort for my son, and I also don't want violence. So obviously there is a balance, right? But I think too much discomfort can break a human being, and it can be hard to bounce back from that for a lot of people, you know. So it does take staying in prayer and having faith and trying to, you know, Proverbs 3:5, trying to trust in the Lord, you know. So I try to trust that he's going to give me a limited amount of pain. And if he gives me more than I can handle, then I try to gain the wisdom to understand what strength is behind that pain, you know, that I can benefit from. So, again, I think suffering is just part of it. I try to allow him to guide me. And, you know, like I said, this feels like a breakup of 30 years, you know, being married for 30 years. And all of a sudden, you know, you're being left. You're not wanted anymore, I guess is the more accurate description of it. It just feels like after 30 years, they don't want you anymore, right? After you've shown them all your favorite places to eat, you know, all of a sudden it's more of a divorce. But even in a breakup, you know, I don't want to be a violent person. I want to be someone with respect who either stays and wants to stay or has to leave with dignity, you know. So either way, I want to do what makes God proud. I want to work hard because I feel like, you know, that's the right thing to do. And I try to give all of my hard work glory to the Lord, you know. And so, again, whether I'm on this side of the border or that side of the border, I think you can't add an hour to your life. You can't add an hour to where you stay at. You can't add anything when you put your life in God's hands. It is the pain that he chooses for you, and I pray for the wisdom to allow me to understand, because I don't want a pain-free life. I think that part needs to be said. I don't want comfort. And so kind of exiting out of that topic and into a new one, I think that the new generations want comfort so bad. I think that I get so much advice about treat yourself and all this from newer generations. It feels like they prioritize comfort a lot and self-care a lot. I don't know that makes you stronger. You know, you got Russian boxers punching trees, you know, when they're 8 years old in Russia, because people over there have realized, okay, pain makes you stronger, and we want to be stronger, and stronger is better, because you are able to take care of the people around you, of your tribe, of whoever you call your people, and you're able to be strong for them. And that's what I want, you know. So I feel like that's the wisdom that I've gained becoming an older, as I grow older as a father and as a working man. Some of the great things that I've learned from all the old heads is definitely, why would I seek comfort? Why would I seek comfort? That's not what I'm here for. That's not what I believe in. I want to serve. I want to work hard, and I want to grow stronger, and I want to provide. And that's the role that I feel like was given to me, you know. So I have a lot of honor in that. I want to honor that. I want my son to be able to see me as an example of, you know, you put your life in God's hands, and this is not heaven. No, I don't seek comfort here on earth, because this is not heaven. And I think so many people have that confused. We don't need all this peace. I understand that it is comfortable to be at peace, but there is also times of war, you know. And in that, you have to remember what you're fighting for. You have to pray and calibrate your soul back to where it belongs, you know, and it's with the Lord, and do whatever work he chooses for us, you know. So I talk about this a lot with my family, with my wife, and with my dad mostly. So we discuss a lot of serious topics. And so many times we use a Bible verse, I feel like, in the wrong way. And, you know, they'll ask me like, okay, if it says this, or I'll ask them like, if it says this, why would we take action in a different manner? And we misutilize a Bible verse, right? But I think that's where you have to rely on trying to gain wisdom in the end. As you get older, it is a faithful person's responsibility to try and gain wisdom, to utilize all of those in the correct manner, you know. But it does, that's a topic for a different video. It is something beyond my expertise, you know, in any way. I feel like in my youth, as far as understanding wisdom and understanding faith. But pay your taxes, avoid violence, and just pray. That's it.